again and welcome back. Today's video is all about how you eat. Have you ever actually thought about it? How you eat? Today we're going to explore what kind of eater you are by discovering some eating styles that might be applicable to you. In fact, you may find that you resonate with a particular eating style all the time, and you may also find that some eating styles are very situational. So, let's get right to it. I'm Elizabeth, and today I am here to help you heal your relationship with food by discovering the ways that you eat on a daily basis. There are 7 different eating styles that you are likely to associate with, and we'll go through each one individually. You may fit into one, a few, or even all of these categories throughout your life. They are 1. The careful eater, the professional dieter, the unconscious eater, the chaotic unconscious eater, the refuse not eater, the waste not eater, and the emotional eater. Okay, now that I've probably confused you, let's dive right in. And as I explain each eating style, I want you to think about your relationship with food and what categories may resonate with you the most. The first step in taking action and working on it is to understand where you're at right now. So first, the careful eater. A careful eater is all about making sure things are perfect. They obsess over every bite. Others may label them as a health nut, but under the surface, you suffer. You're constantly trying to get nutrition perfect, but don't really have a great balance when it comes to health and wellness. In fact, if you find yourself a perfect eater, you might also find yourself an all or nothing eater. Either you are perfect and eat perfectly, or the second you slip up and you throw it all out the window, because what's the point, right? You're so careful and meticulous with what you think you should put in your body that your relationship with food is quite out of balance. Secondly, the professional dieter. Are you a victim of the shiny object syndrome? The next diet or meal plan just came out and you have to try it. It's guaranteed to help you lose those last few pounds or give you more energy or just get you back on track. You see, the nutrition industry is really good at making you feel like you need their products to be successful in your goals. You're triggered by feeling fat or even feeling like you don't know how to eat healthy, so someone else can tell you exactly how to do it. Professional dieters are inundated with specific food rules. You can't eat this or that. You create rules around food and start to label foods as good or bad, which creates a long-term dysfunctional relationship with food because you have a long list of things that you should and should not eat. Okay, third, the unconscious eater. The unconscious eater is triggered by eating while doing something else. So, do you find yourself eating lunch at your desk more often than not? Or eating while reading a book? Or struggling when you actually do have to sit down and experience and mindfully eat your food? You might engage in some unconscious eating and wonder where that food you just ate even went. You don't even remember eating it. Fourth, and similarly, the chaotic unconscious eater. Similar to the unconscious eater, the chaotic unconscious eater is triggered by being too busy. You're always eating on the run and grabbing whatever food is available at that moment. In this scenario, you are also pretty much unaware of what you put in your mouth. You have other, more important things to be worried about than to stop and eat. Fifth, the refuse not eater. This is something I suffer with. It's someone that's tempted by the presence of food, such as potlucks, parties, and other events. They tend to trigger overeating or eating foods that you don't necessarily need or want. You may have just had a big lunch, but those snacks in the break room are too appealing. If you are a refuse not eater, you rarely say no when someone offers you some sort of food. But then you often feel guilty afterwards because you feel like you have no self-control or can't say no to something you don't really need, even though it looks appealing. Sixth, the waste not eater. The waste not eater is similar to the refuse not eater in that they are triggered by the presence of food or food availability, but especially free food, buffets, break rooms, events. All of this brings out the lack of self-control. If you find yourself a waste not eater, you likely get a little stressed about upcoming events or places you know there will be free food because you're certain that you'll have no self-control over it. And lastly, the emotional eater. I'd actually be willing to bet we all fit into this category at some time or another. Would you agree with me? The emotional eater is triggered to eat by whatever emotion they are currently experiencing. Most people see emotional eating as being curled up on the couch with a pint of ice cream and maybe some potato chips, because when you're having a bad day, of course these things go together, right? But too much emotional eating is much more than that. Emotional eating is eating when you experience any sort of emotion. You could be excited and feel like you should celebrate with food, or angry and frustrated and need something crunchy, or sad and need something sweet. Emotional eaters use food to deal with their emotions most of the time. This means they turn to food when they experience anything that is uncomfortable or extreme. So now that we've explored the 7 different eating styles, which one resonates with you the most? Do you find yourself maybe agreeing with one of them or several of them? That's okay if you do. This can give you a good snapshot of what your relationship with food looks like at this current moment and the things you might want to start working on. The key to managing these eating styles is to figure out your trigger, such as eating chaotically because you're busy, and then either change it or reframe it. So for example, if you're too busy to sit down and eat, then I want you to try to make sure you have some good, healthy food options around you at all times so you can grab and go on the run. Try your best to eat mindfully as you drive or whatever else, but at least you know you're getting something that fuels your body rather than maybe stopping at the next fast food place. I've included the link to a handout outlining the 7 eating styles along with an area for you to create a plan for yourself. It also has recommendations for strategies to use to help you eat more mindfully no matter what eating style you relate to, or styles, or I want you to come up with strategies that work for you. Understanding how you eat is truly the first step in making any changes. And if you find yourself struggling a lot in the emotional eating department, don't feel alone. Take my free course. It's all about helping you overcome emotional eating. It's linked in the description below along with my worksheet.